Hi, I'm Lexi Matthews, and I will be this week's video announcement host. And on Monday, the 13th, first off, we're going to start off with our band sectionals first thing in the morning at 7 a.m. Then we will have our JV Lady Bronco Volleyball taking on the Jacksboro Tigers. Theater auditions will also be today from 6 p.m. through 9 p.m. You're going to do amazing, so don't worry. Lastly, we will have our weekly band rehearsal from 6 to 8 p.m. And on this day in history, in 1922, the Straw Hat Riot began in New York City as people protested the right to wear straw hats any time of the year. Mr. Best, you tend to wear cowboy hats. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think people say nowadays that you're supposed to wear a felt hat, in winter or the cooler months. I usually don't wear a felt hat until, into October. And then, of course, straw when it's hot out. One thing to keep in mind, too, is a felt hat nowadays might be $200 to $500. Straw hat, good straw hat might be, $30, $50, $70. So there's a cost difference on that.
And now, straw hats are considered cool. And on Tuesday, the 14th, we're going to start off with our band sectionals at 7 a.m. Next up, we will have the Title I parent meeting at South Elementary from 12 p.m. through 1 p.m. Lastly, the Lady Buckaroo volleyball team will be taking on the City View Lady Mustangs in Wichita Falls, starting at 4:30 p.m. and once again, the times will be posted to my right. On this day in history, in 1951, the very first seedless watermelon was developed. Now, let's talk a little bit more about watermelon. Did you know that watermelon is both a fruit and a vegetable? Well, it's true. They are also closely related to cucumbers, pumpkins, and squash, yet it still has that sweet taste. Go watermelons! And on Wednesday, the 15th, once again, we will be having our daily band sectionals at 7 a.m. this morning. We will also be having a cross-country meet at Lipan High School. The times will be posted directly to my right. And on this day in history, Agatha Christie was born in 1890. She was very famous for her murder mystery novels. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about her. She was placed in the Guinness World Records, and they listed her as the best-selling fiction writer of all time. Her novels have been sold more than 2 billion copies. That is a lot. She also wrote the world's longest-running play, The Mousetrap, which was performed in the West End from 1952 to 2020. And there's been lots of TV shows and movies that have been made in her honor. And on Thursday, the 16th, of course, we'll have our daily band sectionals at 7 a.m. this morning. Next up, we have our junior high Bronco football team versus the Eastland Junior High starting at 5 p.m. in Eastland. Go Broncos! Next up, we have our JV football team taking on the Eastland JV football team, but at home. Go Buckaroos! Next up, we will be having our Title I family night starting at 5:30 p.m. And on this day in history, in 1620, English colonists boarded the Mayflower and set sail for America. The Mayflower took 66 days to cross the ocean and was known as the first permanent New England colony. And the rest, as they say, is history. And on Friday, the 17th, we are having our Buckaroo Pep Rally about 12:15 in LT Cook Gym. By the way, we're really enjoying having our pep rallies back in LT Cook. There are no volleyball games today, but instead, they are tomorrow. More information on that in just a moment. Pride of Breckenridge will be reporting to the band hall at 5 p.m. for our trip to Eastland. Speaking of which, the Buckaroos are taking on the Eastland Mavs in Eastland at 7:30. Go Bucks! You got this. Also, FFA students will participate in the swine show at the West Texas Fair and Rodeo, today and tomorrow. On this day in history, in 1966, the Beatles' famous song, Yellow Submarine, took over the #1 spot on the music charts, swapping places with Sunshine Superman by Donovan. And on Saturday, the swine show concludes at the West Texas Fair and Rodeo. The Lady Bucks will go up against the Nakona Lady Indians, and that will be at Nakona High School. Times will be posted on my right. Thank you for tagging along with me, and I want to wish everyone a great week. Go Bucks!